Welcome back. I'm now joined by Matthew in the studio. Hello, Matthew. We're going to take a look at the day's business news, of course, and the markets. They've been enjoying a rare positive spell.
Yes, makes a change, doesn't it, to talk about that. Markets doing well. It was because there was, first of all, here in Europe, we had the European Central Bank talking about what it's going to do to its interest rate. Now, actually, it left that interest rate unchanged at 1%. But the bank gave signals that it would be prepared to cut the interest rate, which, of course, acts as a stimulus to the economy if conditions required that. So that cheered markets a bit as well. They also, the central bank also gave their forecasts for the Eurozone in the year ahead. Those were pretty unchanged, growth up to 0.3% and inflation still around that 2.5% mark.
And did Mario Draghi have anything to say about Spain?
Yes, of course. It's a big question at the moment, and he was asked about Spain. He was asked specifically whether Spanish banks should turn to this European bailout fund, the EFSF, for help. Let's listen to what he had to say.
I don't view as the ECB's task to push governments into doing something. It's really their own decision whether they want to access the EFSF or not.
And across the Atlantic in the US, the central bank governor is due to speak today as well.
Yes, that's right. So Ben Bernanke, chairman of the Federal Reserve, his turn today. He'll be appearing in front of the Congressional Joint Economic Committee. People as well looking there for signs whether the Fed will do anything to stimulate the economy. There was some news yesterday on economic activity in the US. It was the Fed publishing its survey of businesses around the country, and that cheered markets as well. It showed moderate growth in April and May. That helped things.
Overall, the markets had a pretty good day then.
Yes, that's they did. So Dow Jones had its best day actually since December. We can take a look at how things closed there yesterday. It was up 2.4%. The Nasdaq and the S&P also made similar gains. And let's take a look while we're doing the markets at what happened in Asia, or what's happening in Asia. Markets still open there. They have been trading up as well, continuing that momentum. The Kospi there up 2.5%. The Nikkei also well over 1.3%. Well, let's get some of the day's other business news. And Rupert Murdoch's News Corp is increasing its hold on its Asian TV operations. The company's buying out the 50% stake owned by Walt Disney in the ESS network. ESS operates 28 networks in 24 Asian countries.
LinkedIn has said some of its users' passwords have been stolen and leaked online. The social network is looking into reports that around 6 million passwords could have been compromised. The company says it's contacting affected members.
And the European Union has put Russia on notice as the country prepares to join the World Trade Organization. A report on Wednesday said Russia will be in breach of global trade rules when it joins later this year. Possible breaches include planned legislation that would favor domestic car producers in public contracts. Well, as you've been reporting this morning, Claire, and we've been discussing Spain, of course, big topic. Spain is going to be in the bond markets today. That's just after the budget minister the other day said that they were having trouble accessing markets, but they're going to be in the bond markets looking to raise 2 billion euros. Well, behind the scenes, discussions are continuing over how to shore up those struggling banks. Well, to get the latest, we are joined by our correspondent in Brussels, Frédéric Simon. Frédéric, thank you very much for joining us this morning. Now, I understand we can't go straight to Brussels yet for Belgium, so maybe we'll look at something else and try and come back to him later.
All right, we'll move on then to 60,000 video game professionals converging on Los Angeles this week for the annual E3 Expo. It's the ultimate rendezvous to learn what's next in the $25 billion industry, and designers are unveiling new creations, but the hardware to run them is not keeping pace.
Once again, the Wii U is the star of E3. Nintendo has updated the prototype of its gamepad console. It's a hybrid, part tablet, part joystick, interactive and portable.
This is a high-definition console that offers a new gaming experience, a new way of playing with the traditional living room console.
But the Wii U is not available in stores. There are no new consoles being released to the public at E3. Enthusiasts are eager for new hardware, but manufacturers aren't making the next generation yet, even though existing models are getting old.
We're at the end of the life cycle of consoles. The PlayStation will only be around for 6 years and the Xbox for 7 years. Cycles don't generally last longer. We need new technologies and new boxes. We are working on it, but you will still have to wait a little bit.
The main challenge, casual video gamers won't splurge for specialized box. Instead, they play online or on cell phones or tablets.
We are seeing today an orientation change towards more social gaming, more connectivity, and the use of multiple devices.
Online gaming made up 58% of worldwide sales last year. That leaves the industry at a technological crossroads. Moving forward, connectivity will be the key to enticing both die-hard and casual video gamers.
Well, the E3 Expo in Los Angeles there. Well, from Los Angeles, let's go back to Brussels and talk again about Spain. As we've been saying, Spain's going to be in the bond markets today trying to raise 2 billion euros. Worries about those banks continuing. Let's see if we can join Frédéric Simon. He's our Brussels correspondent to find out a bit more about what's happening. Frédéric, thanks for joining us this morning. Now, yesterday we heard from Mario Draghi, and he was insisting that it's governments that need to sort out the Spanish issue. Can I start by asking you, why is it that the ECB won't intervene directly in what's happening in Spain?
Well, Mario Draghi said the ECB had done enough for the time being in the way of buying up sovereign bonds from Spain or even Italy. If it did continue with this policy, Draghi said this would remove pressure on governments to take action, and the ECB cannot continue to step in for politicians' lack of action indefinitely. The ECB, anyway, has apparently only limited possibilities to repeat this kind of bond buying program. Otherwise, it would put its own finances into trouble. One possible solution would consist in providing financing to Spanish banks via the bailout fund, the ESM or the FSF, but this is an option that Germany has so far resisted.
Frédéric, Claire Pride here in the studio with Matthew. Now, we had proposals yesterday from Commissioner Michel Barnier on a banking union. Could those measures help Spain?
Well, no, not immediately, and this is one of the main criticisms which was leveled at the Commission, but also the member states which have long refused to even consider a banking union. The plans would anyway first need to be approved by the EU countries and the European Parliament, and this is a long process which takes a few years, meaning the rules will probably not take effect until 2015, and the rules forcing banks to pay into a so-called resolution fund would only apply as of 2018 in order to give them the time to raise the extra capital. And this would be far too late for Spain, of course, which could be forced to seek a bailout for its banks in the coming weeks or even days.
Frédéric Simon reporting from Brussels. Thank you very much for that. And thank you, Matthew. Do stay tuned to France 24, all the latest news coming right up with Stuart Norval.
In Beyond Business, we're looking at stolen secrets and lost fortunes. What's the right course of action to crack down on industrial espionage? France is mulling a law that sets out tougher punishments for those who reveal trade secrets.
Don't miss Beyond Business, Saturday 10:15 a.m. Paris time on France 24.